Thanks for coming back. Well, today we're going to get started on the bandsaw. I know it's been a long time coming, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Let me bring you over here to the table to show you what parts we've got for it, and we'll go ahead and get her started. Okay? So we've got the motor. We've got a line cord off of one of the treadmills that I scored. You know, I've sorted through eight treadmills so far, and I'm looking for number 9. So we're going to use this for the power lead. It's got an on-off switch on it, and it's fused. We're going to use this maybe to house the power supply and all that kind of stuff. I mean, not the power supply, but the AC to DC and the, well, you'll see here in a minute. So, I order these from eBay, and they are 220 volt motor controllers, like fan motor controllers. 220 volts, 600 watts, or 100 volts at 1,000 watts, or something like that. Anyway, part number ACMC60-1. And if you find these on eBay, this is what I order. And without the bridge rectifier in there, this is how I get it with the knob on it. So I take the knob off, and I take this off, and I took this one off of my mill. I thought it was shorted out, but it wasn't. It was something else, and it was for the table feed. So I take that off, and what I have in here is the speed controller, and I've got a bridge rectifier, and I've also got that off of eBay. They're really cheap. Serial number K as in King, BPC5010. And as long as you hook the AC where it says AC, AC lines in and the DC lines out. As long as you hook it corner to corner, you're going to be fine. What we're going to do is we're going to replace this potentiometer maybe with a 5K ohm potentiometer, and that'll give me a little bit better control on real slow RPMs. But this thing would work just fine. You can still use it. You take it off of here and mount it anywhere on the machine you want, and just extend the wires to wherever you want the speed controller, and it's that easy. So here I've got the motor mount. Whoa! I've got the motor mount, and this is what holds it on to the post. We're going to cut this off right here, all the way across here, and we're going to cut it off of here. We're going to weld this one to this one here. That way the motor will bolt on this side and on this side, and I'll be able to adjust the motor up and back. And it'll bolt onto the post, so I can slide it up and down for whatever size belt I happen to have here laying around to fit on it. And that won't be too critical there. So this is all that's needed. Anybody can do it. You could do it at home. Let's take a look at the bandsaw that we're going to transform. Here's my bandsaw. This is a little adapter for a fence that was on this side of it. I'm going to put it back on because I think I've got a fence that'll fit it down here. There we go. Now, if I shorten this up, this will fit it. This is off a Rockwell table saw. So that'll fit on it. It'll clamp on this edge of the table, and this, well, I can make a clamp to go on this side here, so we can have a fence on it if we want. On this side here, I've already, it's also off the same Rockwell. I've got a large upper pulley for this. I don't have a pulley picked out for the motor yet, but we're going to mount the motor down here, and it'll be able to be adjusted up and down on this pole here. These are the blades that I got with it. They're all 3 wood blades, and I don't think I'll be needing these. Let me see, let's flip it around. It's got some type of brass tag on it here, 7415 as it's numbered. So I'm thinking it might have been in a school, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's complete. Let's check out the inside of it here. Normally, these side covers here just lift off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 points that hold it on, and these aluminum side covers lift off. But whoever had this in the past put an aluminum bar in here and a couple hinges, which is pretty smart. So these things were getting broken. I've seen a couple of them where the castings were cracked and they were repaired. This one had a light running up in the inside, so I left the cable tie holders up here, and maybe we can go ahead and we can put that speed selector switch right up on the outside here, and we can have their speed indicator on here, and we can just adjust it on the fly. That might be a good spot. Tires look pretty good on it. Oh, it's touching on the table here. I thought it turned. Yeah, it's just touching on this. I got the table on there too far back. Everything looks as it should. I mean, the bearings are all really nice. Oh, we got firecrackers outside. Anyway, my neighbor's having a party. So that's where we go with that. Everything inside looks like it's in really good shape. The table's in nice shape. What I'm going to do first, like I said, we're going to take the bracket. I've got my cutoff saw right here, and I'm going to take it outside and cut it off, and I'll bring it back in. I don't want to do it inside here. And then I'll bring you back and show you how I'm going to put the motor on it, and then I'll clean it off and clean this off and tack weld it up. Here's what I've done. I cut off the mount. This is the mount that held a motor on a treadmill. So I cut a whole bunch of stuff off those treadmills and hoping to use it someday, and today might be the day. So the motor should go on with it just like this. So I've got her all cleaned up nice. And we'll go ahead and get the motor bolted on there. I need 4 3/8 bolts, nuts, and washers. I'm just clamping it until I get the motor bolted on right now. So the motor's going to go on this way. Well, it looks like... Well, let me bring you over and show you. I think I'm going to have to cut a piece of that plate off. So right here is where I was talking about. I wanted the motor to be able to sit in both slots there without me having to make these things wider. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 1/2 inch off of this on this end here, and then we'll go ahead and get her set back up here, and I'll bring you back. Here's the part of the motor mount that's going to be clamped to the riser pole. And I've cut a 1/2 inch off of this. I got a little off my mark there, but I can weld it up. We're going to put this, bolt the motor on with this on it here. I'll tack it in a couple places, take the motor off, and we're up. Really? Wow. So, I guess it's not 3/8. Let me go get some 5/16. Catch me doing my silliness here. Okay. So now I can just flip it over and take care of that. There we go. We'll just leave it right like that. there. Let me grind just a little bit of this paint off of the back side here. Get the welder fired up. Okay. Realistically, that's probably all I'll need to hold it, but I'll put a few on the top too. Okay, now I'll get the motor off of there and put a couple tacks on the top too and call it good. Forgot to hit record, guys. Sorry about that. Uh-oh, there went the breaker. Well, so much for my fun for right now. Okay, let me hit this with the grinder and I'll bring you back on camera. I'm not going to have the camera anywhere around the grinder when it's throwing sparks. My wife will kick my butt. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and slide the motor back on here. Oh, if I could pick it up. Good deal. I think that's going to work just fine for what I need. And should give me a lot of years of service. And there we go. Let's put this other bolt on. And there we got it. While we're here, you know, this motor only needs 2 of these wires to run. The other 2 wires are for an overload sensor. So when the motor gets hot, the overload sensor cuts the power. And you really don't need it on the bandsaw application. All you have to do is back this screw out and pull out the transmitter in there, and you can toss this. I'm just going to use the black and the red, and the other ones are going to go away. So when you see this later in the video, if I forget to mention it, these 2 are going to go. There we go. That's nice. Well, let's get the bandsaw over here and put this on and see how it's going to fit. So we've got it welded up, and it's just come out right here Oh, that's going to be perfect too. We can move the motor back just a little bit and she's going to line right up. It's nice when something works for a change, you know that. Yeah, I don't know what kind of mount this was here. I don't know how the original motor mounted on it. Nor, oh, do I know, I don't even know if it's actually for this machine. But I do know it'll work just fine. There we go. Now I'll use a wrench on that. Well, it's not perfectly, oh here we can just pull that one right off. It's not perfectly lined up yet, but so you guys get the idea. We're going to have the belt come out of here and go right around here. Maybe I'll build a little shroud for it, but this is all you're going to need. I mean, you can move this up, down, you can put any size belt on it. If you got a spare belt laying around, you don't have to worry about it. So I think it's going to work out really well. Be able to put the wires over here. Maybe I'll just put the controller underneath here and run the switch up on the top. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to mount the controller right underneath here and see if I got something out in my parts shed that I could use to make a cover for this. Because I don't think that black cover that I have, that plastic one I showed you earlier, I don't think that's going to work. But here's where we are with this right now. I think that turned out pretty good. So all you guys really need to do is get a big muffler clamp or a tailpipe type clamp. Get yourself a maybe an 1/8 inch flat piece of stock. Put a 90 on it, cut a notch in it, and put the tailpipe clamp around it. I mean the muffler clamp around it or whatever, this pipe clamp. And tighten it down, and it should work for you. Hey, I'm thinking, since I just now, there we go, realized, oh, that's a 1/2 inch bore. I might have a 5/8 bore, and that's what that looks like. I got a 3/4, that's a 1/2, so I got a 1/2. I don't mean to be getting in front of the camera here. Kind of a change of plans as I go. 3/4, so it's a 5, somewhere around there. I got a whole bunch of pulleys down here. We'll find something. Okay, that's even better. You like how this goes so far. I mean, it just kind of evolves like this. It's, I don't know, it's kind of funny how it happens. But this one here will be even better. I can really slow it down with this. And there's enough meat here where I can bore this out to whatever I need to fit over this shaft. And I don't have my calipers out here for a quick measurement, but we'll bore this one out. We'll make it work. Well, that's step one. Getting the motor on here. So the second installment, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this stuff on there. Yeah, let me get this. And line cord. We're going to put the switch on it and we're going to fire it up. And thanks for watching me this time. Tune in for the second part. I think there's only going to be 2 parts because this is actually a really easy changeover. I've got belts up there. We'll go ahead and fit a belt. We're going to get this AC line in on here. We're going to get this attached to it. We're going to run this all the way up to the hole on the other side and see how it runs, and maybe I'll put a 5K potentiometer on there. For right now, I think that's it. Or if you'd like a look at something specific, go ahead and send me a message on Messenger to Ron Straub, S-T-R-A-U-B, and I can go ahead and we can get a FaceTime going, and I could show you any part of any machine, and I could go through whatever you need with you, and we can get you guys going on a treadmill powered whatever you need. Okay? I'll see you next time. Flathead Ron's Garage. Bye, guys.